All right. Okay. So, as Karen said, I'm going to demonstrate the difference between using the production or bill of materials and production management for your light manufacturing versus the more robust production management module that allows you scheduling and management of your resources um, and forecasting. So, first, I'm going to start with the bill of material itself. You're going to see I'm going to pick on a single bill as our desktop 100. I'm going to select it. This is the Sage Bill of Material maintenance screen. I am going to select my desktop 100. I can have multiple revisions for my bill of materials up to 1,000 from 000 to 999. And those could be slight tweaks or variances in the item that you make with just different revisions. But every bill of material is tied to a finished item in Sage 100. Okay, so I'm going ahead and working with revision 000. I can have a standard bill, kit bill. I can make it an active or engineering. Only standard and kit bills can have a production entry executed on it. I can keep track of drawing numbers, templates, template revisions, and even scrap percentages. The option, if this bill has options, this one does not. I'm going to move to the next bill, the Desktop 200. It has options, and these are prompts that you would receive during sales order entry and or production entry. But I'm going to use the Desktop 100 without options. I'm going to go to the lines of my bill of materials. And as Karen shared, I can have inventory items listed, basically my grocery list of items. The revisions here and the asterisks tell me that these are actually sub bills. So there is even a list of materials or bill of material to make these items. The items without the asterisks are normal inventory items. And these three items below are miscellaneous charges. So for the light manufacturing, using the production entry, I can enter guesstimated amounts. And this is a flat dollar amount. Okay. But I can, once I complete and post the production entry, it's going to include the estimated overhead or calculated overhead in the value of that inventory item. So I'm going to say accept here on my bill of material. Minimize this, and then I'm going to go to my production entry. Okay, I've went ahead and generated a production entry. My quantity is 2. I'm going to make 2 of the desktop 100 systems. I'm using my revision 000. I could use any revision available. I can designate the parent warehouse where am I going to put this finished good once it's completed, and then the component warehouse. From what warehouse am I going to take the raw materials from? If I select the explode option, which I did not here, it will blow through. If you remember on the bill of materials, the first 3 items were sub assemblies. It would explode through there and then include in this list for this production entry those sub assembly materials and or miscellaneous charges as well. So if you had overhead and some of the sub assemblies, you would see it. Okay. But I generated the production entry. So for quantity 1, I'm making 2. I'm going to need 2 boards. But when you get down here, you see my labor, burden, and overhead values. These are calculated estimates. You could actually, if it, let's say it took 6 hours. So if it took 6 hours rather than 5, that was $330. So I'm going to include $330 of labor in my production entry. So basically, I just added $15 per unit of labor for the items into the final unit cost. Okay. If I had any distributions, any lots or serial numbers, it would stop me. I've gone ahead and distributed those. So I'm going to print, save the changes, and then it will update. And the inventory, again, it's going to put 2 finished desktop 100s on the shelf to be included in my inventory. Okay. my keyboards. All right, I'm gonna hit preview. And I'm just going to show you briefly how the cost is allocated out on the per unit price in this register.
Now, can you share one of your jokes while you're waiting?
No, nope.
Can't top errands?
No,
No
I can't. I
jokes?
can't tell you I'm the Midwest organic sleep aid. The third year running, when I talk, people sleep. So I appreciate you all staying awake for this. But you can see where we allocated the amounts on the desktops, the $23,000 to be the per unit price on this desktop, and we included the labor, the burden, and the overhead in the cost of the item. Okay, so I'm going to say no, I'm not going to update this. Okay, so that was the production entry, like manufacturing. Okay, now I'm going to show you the functionality of the production management. Okay, this is a work ticket, the key component of the production process. This single component you will schedule from, you will apply your materials from, you will develop your schedule from. The schedules are called templates. Okay, and then when you complete them, it's going to roll the costs for the labor, for the materials, any outside cost into the unit price for the product, and then put it into your inventory. So this is the work ticket. They're unique items. It's one item per work ticket. In this case, it's our desktop 100. I'm going to go to, I can have attachments. I can keep attachments on my work tickets. Okay, I can have drawings, work instructions. Okay. In this case, I've got a drawing. I could just, again, have this attachment. It can be a PDF, any electronic file. In this case, I have an item, and close this. Again, this is an attachment. I can assign attachments to templates, just additional information for my manufacturing process. On this work ticket, I'm making two. Okay. There's some key components to the work ticket. First of all is the work ticket class. You assign the class. You can have one class for your whole manufacturing process or have multiple classes. The class dictates the defaults, how you're going to issue it. You're going to automatically issue inventory, or you can manually issue it, or you're going to backflush. The accounts that are affected, the web accounts for that class. What's really cool is I can have a user-defined field. Me as the end user for my class can create unique and specific collections of data called user-defined fields, and they can be unique to the type. Okay, is it inspected? Is quality control values and so forth. And then finally, for the work ticket class, I can dictate my materials overhead, a percent or amount. In this case, I said 5%. And any outside processing, I can add overhead to as well. So I could add 2% overhead on my outside processing, including accounts payable invoices and purchase orders. Okay. I'm gonna say cancel here. Okay. And close this. Okay. Another key component of the work ticket is the templates. The template is your scheduling. It's your items. I'm going to go to the steps. These are your scheduled steps for your manufacturing, and I have status codes. The template is what dictates. It's the saved process. I'm going here to my template maintenance, and this is a template. Template is a set of steps. Step 0 for template desktop, step 10, and so forth. With these templates, I can have vendor information, save vendor information for outside processing. I can go to my additional tab. These are values used in calculating my scheduling and my expected hours to complete the manufacturing run. In this case, for the two items, my materials. Okay, I don't have the bill. Those come from the bill materials itself, but you can have additional materials. I can have attachments, and these attachments, like on the ticket, once I use the template, it'll automatically assign the attachments, my user defined for the work template, as well as a 2,500 character extended text box to put instructions in. I'm going to close this and go here. And then these are my steps. Okay. In this case, I can use dynamic inventory or dynamic materials on my manual issues. So this is my material listing. This came from the bill of material, and then I can issue directly here. So I needed 13. I can say I need 13. Oh, I can say accept. Okay. Again, as my steps, I've got instructions. Why is it running slow? Anyway, but I have my steps, and I can have statuses. So as my manufacturing team, I can keep notes on the processes and keep users informed and where we are in our production processes. Okay. So that's our work ticket entry. I'm going to close this. We have a work ticket inquiry. So as I schedule the machines, I can go here and go to my work center capacity and see the demand on my machines. This is capacity. And you can see we've overscheduled this machine here. So we'll need to move it to a different date and time. But we can also use the Business Insights Explorer. This is for materials. I can see quickly the items that I need, these boards, I need 34 of them for this. And I can use this as filters for any of you that are accustomed to using these filters and views. You can quickly see this. You know, you can limit it per items, per workstation, but use and maximize the functionality of the Business Insights Explorer on your manufacturing processes. Okay. And finally, I want to take a look at the IRP, the Inventory Requirements Planning. And what's really neat is with the later versions of the IRP, you don't need the production management. You can use it in conjunction with your production entries. It will not create the production entries for you, but it will make recommended. But this is the IRP. I could have different saved settings, and each one of those is a unique file. Those settings are a blow through the demand. It looks at your sales orders. You can have projected demands and maintain those. And it looks at work orders, and it looks at what your demand on inventory is, and then makes recommended purchases or recommended production orders. Because it takes a few minutes to run, I've generated the IRP. So it's got a file on your demand. I'm going to go to purchases. And this is the list of purchases looking at my demands. Okay. This is the items to purchase. I can go here and look at all items. I could go to items that there are no needed purchases. Maybe I want to include that in because this process will auto generate my POs. So I can go here in a filter and filter by vendor number, and I'm going to filter by this computer supply company. And it's only showing the computer supply company. If I select to generate the PO on the bottom right-hand corner, it will generate a 5-line purchase order ordering these quantities. But before I do that, I'm going to say, no, I want 5 here. They're going to give me a better price if I order 5. Okay. And rather than it be $13.10, it's going to cost me $12.99. Okay. I can also change the vendor here. Okay. I can go to an item that's not being included, not being recommended, and add it to the purchase order as well for the computer supply company. Okay. But again, when I've done my selection, I've updated my prices and my cost. When I say create purchase orders, it'll go in and create a PO for computer supply or any other vendors that I have selected to include for telecom, for the computer room, Mincom. It'll create POs for these vendors. And then finally, I'm going to close this, and I shared that it will create a recommend or create work tickets for you automatically, just like it did the recommended purchase orders. I can go here. It's going to say, okay, it's telling me to make 5. Why is it telling me I need to make 5, a quantity of 5 on a work ticket? I can go here to my item detail, and it'll tell me why. I need 5 for inventory. I've got a minimum order balance, so therefore it wants me to create and put 5 in inventory. And this same feature is available on the purchase. I just didn't show it. I saved it for this screen. Again, so it's telling me I need 5 here. Why do I need 5? Again, I'm going to my item detail. And I've got 1 in stock right now. I've got 1 on a sales order. So my really, and then I need 5. So I've got 1 available for this sales order, and then it's telling me that I need to make 5 in order to keep my desired inventory balance. Okay. So the IRP again will look at your demand, look at your orders, look at your desired stock levels, make the recommendations. From those recommendations, you can modify them, the quantities and the pricing, and then use the create button in the bottom right-hand corner to generate either the purchase orders or the work tickets for your items to replenish your inventory or to make for your inventory. So I'm going to minimize this and minimize this or close this. Okay, again, we can have saved sessions, basically save demands, save calculations, different ones. You may have one for one group of buyers and then another generation for another group of buyers. Okay. Otherwise, that's the IRP module that I hopefully touched and shared some information on the production management module. Otherwise, I'm going to turn this back over to Karen and let her review over what we've just watched.